How are you? I hope you're well. I am well. I just came from outside and I decided to start this video here. I feel like it's long overdue. I've been wanting to start it so that I'm not overcome by events. This is the week of Christmas. It's Tuesday, the 23rd? Yeah. And yesterday, or since Saturday, we've been busy. We needed to start packing on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. We just went to U-Haul to book the pod. We thought we'd just get it on the same day we want to get it, and we waited too long. So right now it looks like we might get it tomorrow, and it might even be late in the day when we get it. So I just came back from buying boxes and bags for packing clothes, big garbage bags for packing clothes. And we won't be taking a lot of things, but we want to at least make sure the pod is full, because it costs a lot of money. So we'll take some things that will be necessary just to begin life. Just some little things. But also the pod, I noticed, is not too big. It says it can pack a room and a half, but I don't know. Yeah, so like you have seen on the title, we are moving. I started with the details. We are moving to a different state. As of now, I'm thinking I should let you guess where. Where would God push us from here? Where? In the past, when I understood that God had brought us here to Worcester, and it's the only place that we ever came by road. Two of us were in Canada, Mike and I, and Dad and Tamo, Tosh were in Orlando, and they drove over for 3 days. Then they came at the end of April, I think April 28th, and then we came in June 19th. So we've been here for what, 6 years. And so when we came to this house, we had an inkling that it would be the house where everybody, you know, separates, goes their different ways. But it turns out that God is taking us away from our children. And I got this phrase, because this I did not make up, and this is not just, you know, putting English words together. God is calling our children to himself. And because he's doing that, we have to be obedient and let him. So he made it work. So by ourselves, there's no way we would have thought, you know, that we can leave our children. We assumed that they would be the ones to leave, and then we'd find a more permanent home, you know, where they can always, you know, visit with their families. But no, God has taken us out of here, you know. And at some point God had talked about this being and now I understand it's not just Worcester. But when we arrived here, or rather just before I came to Kenya, God spoke to me on Psalms 16:6. The land I have given you is a pleasant land. Surely you have a delightful inheritance. So I thought, really, nimefika, you know. And Worcester is an old city. I've shown you a bit of Worcester, especially in these last days. I panicked and was like, oh my God, I didn't document, you know, my journey enough. Some to show you, and some just for me and my grandchildren, my generations. And yeah, we panicked. We felt like, oh, we haven't even toured Massachusetts enough, and now God is talking to us about going to a different place. And I don't know if it's in this video or the one that comes before this. I show you how we went to the place on 27th of May this year. So it's been 6 months of planning, and sometimes it felt like it's too long. Sometimes I'm always like, I want something to be immediate so that I get into it, do it, and finish. But we had school, we had work, and sometimes we had just empty days. You don't know, what to do, what to plan, how to do it, how to go through the process. Sometimes there was a bit of anxiety. Anyway, we went there in May for the interview. We saw the place. At first we were like, nope. You know how airport areas look, eh? And then later, they had this magical plan to have a realtor take us around. And man, she knows how to do her job, and I think she is part of the interview process. She is, yeah, I can confirm that. But I think she gets to, as she's driving us around, she gets to see the reaction of the person who has the best story, has like it's the best bet, yeah, a person they know will come and stay, because a lot of people go to a place, get a job, and then circumstances change and they have to fly off. So like we're telling her, this is possible, we can do this now that we've seen the rest of the place, and it's really nice, quite small, very expansive. It kind of reminds me of Orlando in the expansiveness, yeah. This land is like a valley, so when you're down here, when you're here, like now I can see the top of the hill. Yeah, Worcester is like a valley, so every time you're somewhere you feel like you're surrounded with foliage. So for me, not seeing that much foliage, I was like, really, hey, is this really God? And the way I love nature. But we've seen, I don't think there's a place in America that people have really done as much content on YouTube for for people who are researching to move there. Like there's a lot of material out there, and so slowly by slowly we've fallen in love with the place. A lot of changes had to be done, and we felt like, hey, this is quite a compromise, even with the environment, yeah. So but we had to just look around and see. Anyway, to cut the long story short, we've done the whole process of getting an apartment. So back to apartment life. Yeah, for a bit, and just Falme and I, which is something that has never ever happened in our lives, and it's like God is preparing us for the next phase of our lives, yeah, even maybe for the kids to come, the grandkids. We have trusted God, and the way we've seen things work by really observing the journey when we woke up, because before it's like we just didn't know what was happening. We would get some breakthroughs, we would get some tough times, and we would just want better. But now we've had a chance to just observe the journey, especially having started over in a new place, observing the journey and seeing that, oh, we didn't do this on our own. God started us off, and as such, He has the plan, not us, okay? So we have had to be so conscious to obey and, hear God. And some people ask, how do you hear God? How do you know it's Him? And we'll talk about that, especially how we had God and how, we were convinced that this is Him. Yeah, we'll talk to you guys about that, especially on our way there. It will take us 2 days to get there if we just stick to the journey. Hubby wanted initially to take 3 days so that we can tour other places. But the way it's looking, we need to just get there, get settled. And then, he starts his job early January. I start later. So the thing is, we've been so busy, and we still borrowed 1 day from our schedule for the book signing. So today is Tuesday. Tomorrow, we'll still be packing and doing stuff and preparing for Christmas. Thursday is Christmas, the last one with our kids in Worcester. Okay, maybe not the last one with our, but in this house, yeah. So maybe we'll have other Christmases in their house, because it will be their house, or you know, somewhere else in Worcester, but the last in our house. And so we want it to be special. We want it to be nice and quiet, where we are not just rushing and packing. But I know that is not real. And then Friday, we hopefully will have finished packing things into the pod, and it can be taken either Friday or Saturday. We are using that to just take the heavy items, and then we'll travel light, so that the car doesn't feel as heavy, also that we don't use so much fuel. Yeah, so they can take the pod on Saturday. Saturday will be the book signing, and then 3 o'clock Sunday morning we leave. That's the plan. So for now it is just the packing process, and I'll take you through a bit of it. Okay. Hi guys, how are you? So I'm busy packing, and I have an idea that will make this very simple. So we are using heavy duty contractor grade garbage bags to put our clothes, and then we'll pack in suitcases what we are going to use until the pod arrives. I hear it will come in on January 10th, so that's a lot of time to be without. So we will take what we need in the car, but what has to travel in the pod will go into this bag, so that it's easier to organize. If we have only boxes, things will not, the space will not be enough. So everything that can go into a box will go into a box. Clothes will go into a bag. But we are not, I keep saying we are not taking a lot of things. I feel like it will still be a lot of things. And also, I'm not the ultimate decision maker. So I'll do mine, and then Habi will come and do his. He feels like he has to take a lot of things. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. And then I'll pack one tiny suitcase and a regular size suitcase, just for the things we'll need until then. Nitamini hata kama nimezungukwa na Mungu wa milele, ushindi wala mbadiliki, nitasimama kwa neno lako Bwana. Vitamini, oh, vitamini. What I am totally dreading is going up and down the stairs, so I'll pack everything so that once we start going down, that's all we will do. Okay, I'll see you later guys. I think this part of the process is kind of boring.